How are you, sir? Thanks, everybody, for coming. I want to introduce you to Mr. and Mrs. Wells, and really want to give them an opportunity to speak to what transpired with them 2 days ago. Obviously, Ms. Wells was expecting her little one, and was excited about that.
Yeah.
And want to have her talk about her pregnancy, what that was like, and what she was looking forward to prior to this whole situation happening.
I had a great pregnancy, actually. A lot of support. We were excited that we had another girl coming. However, once I started going in labor, things took a turn because it was, I started going in labor, I'm feeling all these pains. I'm calling to the nearest hospital. At the time we're driving. Get to Franciscan, and I was met with really stern faces, like no welcoming faces as I usually would get when I go to, a hospital or a place of care. So I already had the feeling something wasn't quite right. When I did call ahead, the nurse said, okay, we'll go through ER and we'll see you when we get here. Got there, went through ER. They called upstairs to labor and delivery, and they came down maybe 15 minutes later to get me. I go upstairs, they roll me upstairs. They put me in a room that's not a labor and delivery room. So it was already like not a room that I was ready to actually deliver my child in. So I told them I was 10 minutes apart with my contractions. By the time I got upstairs, it was about 8 minutes apart, my contractions. The nurse came in, she said, okay, let me check you. She checked me 3 centimeters apart. Then she said, okay, I'm gonna check you again in about 2 hours, and if you haven't progressed, then we'll just send you home. So she already had it in her mind to send me home. I didn't think much of it because I'm like, I'm having this baby right now. I'm not going home. But she definitely was gonna make sure that she sent me home, because as soon as she came back, she's like, oh, how's it going? I'm like, I was on a monitor. My contractions began to get closer. She told me, well, take a walk. I took a walk. My contractions began to get to 6 centimeters, from 8 to 6, from 6 to 5, all the way down to 1 shortly after. And I was in excruciating pain. She seen me in pain and agony. And I guess she still perceived me to not be in labor, because upon returning to the room, she's like, well, if you're not further along in your centimeters, then we gotta send you home. So I said, I know I can't go home. I can't have this baby at home. It was hard to even deal with the person that was so no empathy. She didn't show any care as a usual nurse would. It was hard for me to even deal with that, but I couldn't focus on her. I'm just focusing on getting through the process of labor. It's hard to think about right now. I just don't understand how, as a licensed healthcare worker, you could turn someone to the door to leave that's in excruciating pain. It's essentially like I was stripped of my dignity. I was stripped of my dignity as a person because I was treated less than an animal. I almost felt like she wanted me to suffer, because as she watched me suffer, she understands, as a licensed nurse, you understand that there could be, labor is hard, very hard. Sometimes it could become fatal giving birth. And knowing that, she still pushed me out to an attempt of anything that could happen to me and my child. It could have been fatal.
And I think one of the things that is super, super important that we keep in mind is that despite the fact that Ms. Wells was sharing with the nurse that she was having contractions at 1 minute apart and was in extreme pain, and as a prior mother was aware that she was in active labor and about to give birth, she was still turned away. And the basis for why she was sent away was that there were doctor's orders discharging her. The problem is that Ms. Wells never saw a doctor when she was being discharged. So how could a doctor give orders that never saw her? That's a concern for us. I know it's a concern for both of them. I think it's important that we talk about what that experience was like in just driving away from the hospital. Realize roughly 8 minutes after they were sent away, Mr. Wells had to pull to the side of the road and somehow give birth to his daughter. And I think you should speak to that.
It was God's grace. It's totally God's grace. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I don't have any medical license or anything to deliver a baby. I was just scared. I didn't know what to do. And literally seeing my baby's head, and we had to go in, and I started pushing. I kind of tugged and pulled a little bit, and baby came out, and just didn't know what to do. I just prayed and asked God for guidance. And it was just tough doing that thing. And I'm just, now it's, the what ifs is kicking in, and my mind is not in the right space. Our mind is not in the right space because there's a lot of stuff could have happened to us and my wife and my child and me driving. It was just, it's sad.
And we're aware that Franciscan has elected to make a statement. And in the statement that they made, they state that because of their internal policies, they're not able to make a statement. But we're not really looking for them to make a statement. We're not looking to try and have this. We're not looking to invade their investigation. But what we are really looking for is for them to take accountability. Can we agree that a woman that is in active labor shouldn't be sent away? Can we agree on that? Can we agree that a woman should not be deprived, or a person should not be deprived of health care just because of their gender or their race or their economic status? Can we agree on that? Can we agree that a woman in active labor should not be sent away without first being seen by a doctor? We should be able to agree on that. And Franciscan should be able to agree on that. This is something that should have never, ever happened. When they tell me about what they experienced, and it is abhorrent. This man literally was driving at 45, 50 miles an hour, and he sees his daughter's head emerging and doesn't know what to do. He should have never been in that situation.
Minutes away from the hospital, we pulled off, and this is what happened. As a medical professional, how can you send someone away that's in pain? Even that, just that alone should be enough. So, and I just couldn't imagine it happening to anyone, but experiencing it just shows me that it must be common. I know I wasn't the first person that this happened to. I seen it in Texas days before, and then it was happening to me. So I know it's happened for her, and it's gonna continue until everyone speaks up. And